Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be discussing 2.3 variables and literals. What are variables and what are literals? A variable is a name storage location in the computer's memory. A literal is a value that is written into the code of a program. As you learned from earlier in the chapter, variables allow you to store and work with data in the computer's memory. Let's take a look. Double click the BlueJ IDE platform. Give it a few seconds to open. Now let's create a new project. Select project in the app menu. Select the new project command. This will open a new window from which you can navigate to the folder/drive where you can store your project or create a new folder. Type in the name of the new project in the text field name. In this case, variables and literals. Click OK. Your new project will be created. There aren't any classes yet, which are the basic building blocks of programs in Java or code associated with the program. But let's take a look at an icon. The icon that looks like a piece of paper is just a simple text file that acts as the project's README file. You can double click on it to add comments about the project as a whole or write notes to yourself on things that need to be done. But for now, we won't be using it. Now let's select the New Class button on the left side of the window. This will allow us to create a new class. Class name, let's name it variables. Class language, Java. Class type, class. Click OK. To edit or write a code in our variables class, double click on its icon. But before we open this, let's take a look at the diagonal lines, which mean that the code has not been compiled yet. We will talk a little more about this later on in the book. Once you open the editor window, which is very much like a simple word processor, we can begin to create our code. Alright, let's get rid of all this. This is just the default code based on our class name, which is variables, but we won't be using any of this. Alright, let's talk about double slash. Double slash marks the beginning of a comment. The compiler ignores everything from the double slash to the end of the line. The second form is a block multi-line comment. You use this if you want to have multiple lines in a comment. At the beginning of the comment, you would have a backslash with an asterisk and an asterisk with a backslash at the end of the comment. Anything in between has an asterisk. I know it sounds a little confusing. Let me show you. It will look something like this, just how we saw initially in the default code. For the purpose of this presentation, I'll be numbering each line in the comment section next to them. Line 1 is the class header and it marks the beginning of a class definition. Public and class, which are both written lowercase, are both Java keywords. Variables is the class name. This name was made up by the programmer, myself. Programmer defined names may be written in lowercase letters, uppercase letters, or a mixture of both. This line of code tells the compiler that a publicly accessible class named variables is being defined. Line 2 is called a left brace, or an opening brace, and is associated with the beginning of a class definition. All of the programming statements that are part of the class are enclosed in the set of braces. If you glance at the last line in the program, line 11, you'll see the closing brace. Everything between the two braces is the body of the class named variables. Line 3. This line is known as the method header and marks the beginning of a method. A method can be thought as a group of one or more programming statements that collectively has a name. When creating a method, you must tell the compiler several things. At this point, the only thing you should be concerned about is the name of the method, which is main, and the rest of the words are required for the method to be properly defined. Line 4. This opening brace belongs to the main method. Remember that braces enclose statements, and every opening brace must have an accompanying closing brace. If you look at line 10, you will see the closing brace that corresponds to this opening brace. Everything between these braces is the body of the main method. Line 5. This is called a variable declaration. Variables must be declared before they can be used. A variable declaration tells the compiler the variable's name and the type of data it will be holding. This line indicates the variable's name is value. The word int stands for integer, so value will only be used to hold integer numbers. And let's not forget that variable declarations end with a semicolon. Line 6 is used to make things look a little more organized in order for you to have better understanding of how things go. Line 7. This is called an assignment statement. The equal sign is an operator that stores the value on its right, in this case 5, into the variable name on its left. After this line executes, the value variable will contain the value 5. Line 8. The statement in line 8 sends the string literal, the value is, to the print method. The statement in line 9 sends the name of the value variable to the print method. When you send a variable name to the print or println, the variable's contents are displayed. Notice there are no quotation marks around the value. Now that you have described every statement, let's compile the code. Check for any running time errors and run the code. Let's click compile. Good. No running time errors. Let's close it up and run it. To run it, you will right-click the class. Click the following option. Click OK. Boom, there it is.